The enemy wants to take your past and beat you over the head with it, shame, and just say you're worthless. Look at all your failures. Look at this. God would never want you. But when we talk about that, we drag it into the light. Just drag it into the light. Hey, what's good with you? Thanks for hopping in the car with Christian Addiction Recovery, a channel where like-minded individuals that face similar struggles can come so that we can learn and discuss new ways to live our best life possible and overall become the best versions of ourselves. Now, make sure you go back and check out my last video. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. I'll probably forget, but it's just the one I did right before this. But I was talking about how when we focus on the negative, we just invite negative emotion into our life, and we invite negative experience into our life, and that we need to focus on gratitude, because when we focus on the gratitude, not only does it just sound like it works, but neuroscientifically it does work. When you show an expression of gratitude, it creates many of the chemicals that help you to feel good and content and joy and happiness. Those chemicals get produced in your brain when you show an expression of gratitude. All right? So, just goes to show that we need to be working on our gratitude. It's a great video. Again, go check it out. But no sooner than just a couple days later, I was hanging out with my stepdaughter. I love her so much. She is great. And she's not my stepdaughter yet. In 2 weeks she will be, but I just call her my stepdaughter. I have a lot of fun with her. She has a great personality. I like going places with her. I like doing things with her. I wish I could afford to do more, but we're on a budget. But we go to the park, take walks, those kind of things. She's okay when they're over. But when we go do something really fun, like we went roller skating this Saturday, and we had a great time. There was like this big playground that she went. She found some friends. It was like one of those indoor playgrounds. She found some friends. They were playing, running around. We were there for like 4 hours. She had a blast, right? Just a blast. And then it was time to leave. And you know how you got to do with a kid. You give them, hey, we're going to leave in an hour. 30 minutes later, hey, we're going to leave in 30 minutes. 15 minutes later, 5 minutes. So we did all the way that down to the countdown. Ran out of time. Then we got some nachos. And, she said, can I just play for a few more minutes? So I said, yeah. But when it's time to go, it's time to go, okay? So we've had extra time, all of this. So comes around, give her the 15-minute countdown. I go tell her the 5 minutes. All right, so we're exiting the building this time, right? So it's like, okay, it's time to go. And I guess the friend that she had met was having their birthday party there. So right around the time we're leaving, they're doing their birthday party. And, well, why am I not invited to the birthday party? This is my friend. I mean, I've only known her 30 minutes, but where's my invitation? Did it get lost in the mail? And, I had to explain to her how that whole process worked. And she was very unhappy, and she immediately switched over to just focusing on the fact that we were leaving and the fact that she didn't get invited to the party. She seemed to have just forgotten about the 4.5 hours. I don't remember how, 4 hours at least. 4 hours of a great time that we had. Nachos, the games, the roller skating, all of that just out the window, because she wanted to focus on the fact that we were leaving. And I had a talk with her in the car, because we've been having this talk lately, because it's kind of one of her bad habits, is that she goes towards the negative. But I'm trying to let her know that I did that for a long time, and it created no benefit in my life. And I'm letting her know that, hey, I'm giving her the spiel, right? I'm telling her about the gratitude. Well, we're driving home, and I could just tell, like, it's her whole day shifted. We were just having a good old time all day. And, I don't really like to be the guy that has to say no to her, but I love her too much to just tell her yes to everything, because that provides no structure. That provides no learning. That right? See, that's why God teaches us by telling us no, right? So that's the same way we got to teach our kids by telling them no sometimes. You don't got to be mean, no all the time, but they have to understand that when the no comes, we're not just going to focus on the negative, because all it did was just switch her to the negative emotion. And then after that, uh, it didn't matter what we talked about. Everything was looked at as on a negative light for the rest of the evening, and I did my best to kind of cheer her up and that, but it shifted the whole evening. And then her mom got off of work and came home, and we normally have like a really good little family time on those nights, and she just was in a bad mood, and it just clicked. I was like, man, this is a perfect example about the video that I was just talking about. So when we when we focus on something negative, and we put our attention on that, then it brings negative emotion into our mind. And when that negative emotion is in our mind, it's easy to feel sad. It's easy to feel depressed, right? Now, as we feel sad and we feel depressed, it's a lot easier to start noticing other things that you don't have, other things that we're sad about, right? So then our attention goes to other negative things in our life. Listen, here's the thing. Everything can be looked at with negative light and a positive light. Okay? God tells us to be thankful in all things. Paul says that he was thankful for his persecutions, because through his persecutions created perseverance, and through this perseverance created character, and through his character he found hope. Okay? So when we're negative and we're thinking on that negative, it's just a snowball down the hill towards destruction and depression, suicidal thoughts, all of these things. So when you focus on the negative, you attract the negative emotion into your life, the depression in your life, and you focus on more negative, attracting. So it's a snowball, okay? But if we focus on gratitude, then we become full of joy and happiness, and our brain starts to look for it starts using its dopamine, its motivation to look for other things to be grateful for in your life. So then now you can look at something in it that was a negative light, and you can say, well, I didn't go to school today, but at least I got to have time with my family. Or like I was saying in my last video, I could be mad that I don't have credit, or that I haven't had credit for 20 years, or I could be happy that I'm getting credit. I could be mad that I had to leave Texas, or I could be happy that I'm getting a clean slate. I could be mad about all of my failures, or be happy about the wisdom I gained from those failures. And so it is up to us to create the kind of life we want. What do you want in your life? You want misery? Well, then start looking at all the stuff you don't have. You want contentment? Start noticing what you do have. I don't know about you, but I have a roof over my head every night. And I sleep on a soft mattress. And I got clothes on clothes on clothes. But those are just some physical things that I know we all have. A phone, you're watching a phone, you're watching YouTube. So you have some kind of blessing, of favor in your life. Okay? You are not living in poverty. Well, we all kind of are these days with gas prices. But the point is that you are blessed. We are favored. We live in America at this time. We are one of the most privileged peoples of all time. So there's a whole bunch more that you can be thankful for. The clothes, the physical attributes, the country you live in, the time you live in. But it's real easy to look at that same time we live in and just focus on all the things that are going on in the news, the wars and the homelessness and the border and school shootings. There's plenty that we could focus on that's negative. But it does no good. So let's focus on the positive. Let's make an effort to look for what we're grateful for. Bring that positive emotion in our life, that joy and contentment. Then look for more things we're grateful. Then express gratitude for those things. And let's snowball upward toward heaven and that exponential growth toward unlimited potential levels. I said that in the last video. All these things we talk about on this channel are great tools to get you healed mentally. And obviously, I always say go to therapy first. That's the number one thing that God used to heal me. And that's because the enemy wants to take your past and beat you over the head with it, shame, and just say, you're worthless. Look at all your failures. Look at this. God would never want you. But when we talk about that, we drag it into the light. Just drag it into the light. We talk about all that stuff. And then God can show us the truth about those things. That they have no power over our future. And then he gives us those things and he puts them under our feet. And he lets us stand against the enemy. And we get to use that past. We get to pick those rocks up and just beat his head in with them, right? Because we dragged it into the light. God was able to sanitize it. And then all that past became a testimony. All those tests became a testimony. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Be grateful, guys. It's up to us. I'm going to do a video in the next video or two talking about how important routine is, because I just started the job at the mental rehab facility that I went to, and I had to start at night shift first. And in the next video, I'll tell you about all the things that started happening or started getting off track a little bit during night shift. But now I'm on day shift, glory to God. And so I'll tell you all about that in the next video. Hey, I think they switched the button. It was red, I don't know. But you see that subscribe button? Click it and add a D on it. It costs nothing to you, but it's a great benefit to me. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. If you're still here, then smash the like, because you must have liked it a little bit. If you're still here, I'm not that interesting, so it must be good information. All right, let me know what y'all want me to do a video about down below. See you next time. Peace.